singing before photos of their family war heroes. The lyrics of Dame Vera Lynn's "We'll Meet Again" carry extra significance for the D-Day darlings. Tonight, the nostalgic, 9-strong female choir will sing to win over the judges on ITV's Britain's Got Talent. More important is ensuring their music cements the bravery of their ancestors, and all veterans, in history. Judge Amanda Holden is particularly moved as the group makes her think of her gran, still alive, who served during the Second World War. Singer Emily Jane Brooks, 33, said, "The music is so powerful. There's no better way to evoke those memories." Here, in the centenary year of the end of the Great War, the choir revealed the courage behind the photos. Still alive to this day, Katie Ashby helped form the choir, Image, D-Day Darlings. Clifford Store on his 90th birthday. Katie Ashby, who formed the D-Day Darlings, has the honor of singing for a war hero still alive today. The 40-year-old step-grandfather Clifford Store was in the RAF as a navigator in Lancaster bombers during the Second World War. Clifford is 95 and takes huge pride in Katie's singing. Katie, from Tamworth Staffs, says, "When he signed up he was 17 and told of the risks. It was 50% he wouldn't make it, but he still signed up like thousands of others and risked his life. He had a lot of near misses. He had a crash landing that he survived, although he was injured. I become emotional about that when I sing. We have at the forefront of our minds our heroes, whether they are alive or lost." She adds, "Clifford thinks it's amazing, honoring everyone who fought. He is so proud we are keeping this going, a young group of girls with a strong mission, to keep this wartime memory alive into the next 100 years. For Clifford, these songs mean the world after his wartime experiences. "I didn't expect to survive," he says. "The odds against coming through were stacked against me. I've no regrets but lots of sadness that so many of my friends never made it. I've the more than 55,000 aircrew who were killed. There was potentially a prime minister who never was. These were all very young men who volunteered to put their lives on the line." He tells the girls, "You are keeping the British spirit alive." Never to be forgotten, Emily Louise Brown is part of the choir, Image, D-Day Darlings. John Stuart Brown was a Royal Northumberland Fusilier. Emily Louise Brown's husband John has told her so much about his namesake granddad's exploits that she's taken them to heart. A Royal Northumberland Fusilier, attached to the 51st Highland Division, John Stuart Brown was captured at St. Valery in 1940. The 20-year-old was imprisoned in a farmhouse in Danzig, now Gdansk, in Poland. But he struck up a forbidden romance with farmer's daughter Dora. They escaped together, and after liberation he brought her to the UK to marry. Emily, of Ripley, Surrey, says, "He had to shave her hair off and dress her in British soldiers' clothes to get her back here." He later became a journalist, rising to managing editor at The Scotsman. Emily, 29, says, "When we sing for veterans it makes me very aware we are the last who will be able to speak to this generation firsthand. What they did should never be forgotten. We've a responsibility to pass it on." They died just days apart. Kylie Bates had double heartbreak. Image, D-Day Darlings. Kylie is proud of Sergeant Arthur Day. Image, D-Day Darlings. Both Kylie Bates's great-great-granddads, Sergeant Arthur Day, right, and PTE Harold Bates, far right, were from Coventry and died just days apart in the Battle of the Somme, in July 1916. And both, like so many, left young wives and young children behind. Arthur's widow was lucky enough to have his watch and a treasured photo returned in the most extraordinary circumstances. The photo of his wife and children he carried, and his watch were found next to another man's body and sent to his wife by mistake, says Kylie, 29, from Daventry, Northants. She put the photo in a newspaper asking, "Who does this belong to? My great-great-grandmother saw it." Great War left a mark. Alexandra Hans is proud to perform, Image, D-Day Darlings. Great-great-granddad Sergeant Major John Hardwick, Image, D-Day Darlings. Alexandra Hans, 31, has learned just how devastating the First World War was for her family. Her great-great-granddad Sergeant Major John Hardwick fought alongside his son, for the same name, and both died. Although she is learning more, the singer does know just how close the son came to surviving. He was killed on the very last day of the conflict. For her great-great-grandmother back home, the double loss must have been unbearable. Alexandra, of Rotherham, South Yorks, says, "It was very moving to find this out. I have always loved this music. It's so moving to see how morale-boosting it is. I feel so proud to sing it, and it means a lot to people. He saved many, many lives." Nicola Roberts is so proud. Image, D-Day Darlings. John Roberts died when She was a small child. Image, D-Day darlings. Nicola Roberts was a small child when great-granddad John Roberts died, and only remembers an old man with a wooden leg. Now she knows he lost his limb detonating a bomb dropped on a street in Britain during the Great War. He saved many lives, says the 38-year-old, from Peterborough. He was doing very valuable work. I'm very proud. She adds, the best thing is to sing at a veteran's birthday. Their eyes well up. We get that so much. This is more than a job, we are keeping the spirit alive. The bomber in the sky. Emily Jane Brooks is singing in the choir. Image, D-Day darlings. Alfred James William Smith and his wife on their wedding day in 1944, as the Second World War raged, Emily Jane Brooks's grandmother Sheila was warned it may not be a long marriage. Grandpa Jim flew Lancaster bombers, drastically cutting his chances of surviving the war. But he did, and Emily, from Rugby, tells how his bravery was recognized with a Distinguished Flying Cross. She says, he saved a colleague, a rear gunner in his plane. My granddad pulled him into the hold of the plane just before they were impacted by another aircraft, while they were in the air. My granddad was lucky to survive, too. The 33-year-old finds her gran's courage equally breathtaking, marrying a man she was sure to lose. Sheila had already lost her family home in the Blitz. Emily Jane says, I remember my granny saying the minister had told her, with a job that Jim does, you need to be prepared that he might not be there. Singing songs like We'll Meet Again feels very poignant, thinking of their story. It must not be forgotten. He signed up in a heartbeat. Great-great-granddad P.T. Leonard Leslie Hardy. Jessica Hudson is proud of his role. Image, D-Day darlings. Jessica Hudson, 28, says her great-great-granddad P.T. Leonard Leslie Hardy had left the army when the First World War broke out but immediately signed up, despite having a new wife and baby. Tragically, he did not return. He chose to go back in. The child was only a few months old, a baby in arms. Jessica, from Solihull, West Mids, explains. When I sing, I think of him. When we sing to veterans, their faces just light up. I was at one gig and the whole family was in tears. They had an elderly gentleman with them. At the end they thanked us. They said he had dementia and they hadn't heard him speak properly for about 5 years, but he just sung to every song. You sing for their memories. Louise Kinsvader is one of the D-Day darlings. Image, D-Day darlings. Michael Thomas was a war hero. Image, D-Day darlings. Louise Kinsvader's grandfather Michael Thomas was part of a Lancaster bomber crew but, despite undertaking great risks, always stressed the friendships he made. He would say he had great fun, him and the lads. He really valued the camaraderie, the 38-year-old says. Louise, of Leicester, goes on, he was great as a granddad, always a lot of fun. When you're singing, especially for veterans, it's so nice to see songs really mean something to them. It is emotional, you think about what they went through. Amanda said her grandmother would appreciate it. It means something to everyone. It needs to be kept alive. He lied about his age to serve. Charlotte Mackay feels proud to sing. Image, D-Day darlings. Angus Fergus Mackay was very brave. Image, D-Day darlings. Charlotte Mackay, 27, is astounded by the bravery of Angus Fergus Mackay. Born at the end of the 19th century, he lied about his age to serve in the Boer War, then fought in the First World War, surviving the Battle of the Somme and capture as a POW. He again lied about his age to serve in the Second World War. Angus was in Dunkirk before working on the home front. He gave again and again, even when he didn't have to, says Charlotte, of Leamington Spa, Warks. Who decides to go into 3 wars? He had a real dedication to fight for his country. I wish I had known him. Britain's Got Talent, ITV, 8 p.m.